My God, the Almighty, the one who created the earth in which I stand on. I seek the source of what one would call power.
My child, power is a dangerous thing, something so outrageously strong. Why seek something too powerful for you?
I would want to protect my mortals like how you keep the tranquility amongst your worshippers.
Tranquility and peace is something hard to attain, something I barely managed. Look at the weight of this world beneath the glass-stained curtains.
But you have so much power, so much within your grasp.
Power isn't the only thing that makes a god.
Then what makes you a god?
You can't be a god because you were not created to be one.
But that makes no sense. You may have power, but you're no different from me. You just have followers like a cult. After all, we bleed the same blood.
You're right, we are no different. But there are boundaries between what makes a mortal and what makes a god, and those are boundaries a mortal mustn't cross.
Why can't I cross those boundaries? There's nothing saying what would happen if I did. How do I know my body wouldn't become like yours? And having the ability to save on all, and with all of this destroying with a single breath.
You're right, you don't know, so be my devoted believer and believe my word. Your body will break under such status.
If you cherish me so much, you'll protect me from such corrupt divinity.
No, child, I can't. There are some things a god cannot do.
Or maybe...
You're just too prideful. No, my child, I am fearful.
What are you so frightened of? My God, you are all-powerful, you are all-knowing, you are everything I am not. What is there to be frightened of?
Do you want the real answer, my child? You cannot be a god because you were not created to be one. I could let you pass that barrier. I could let you have blood tinged with gold, and we could breathe the same air, and I could let you control worlds at your will. But you can't handle that. Your body would break under such status. Your mind cannot handle what it takes to be a god. I may be a god, but I am not almighty. The one thing I can't control is your human mind.
This is criminal enemy number 1. It makes my blood boil. It's the worst mental disease, and it is truly, truly horrible. So introducing racism. But y'all knew each other already. It's the most hated toxic substance ever. Even mercury combined with the purest form of radiation couldn't compete. But why? Why does it have to be like this? The good old shake it off and the it'll be all right don't seem to aid me anymore. Even after people like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X too, this disease still conquers the world. It's to the point where I'm bruising myself from balling my fist up. 2 years ago, the simplest task of shopping at your local Walmart couldn't be achieved because this mean old guy said so. How about some lady at Joann mocking you out of her store for browsing tie-dye kits? The lingering disease, according to some people, has a cure. But this cancer always comes back. Racism, it's not the only issue. Unfortunately, 5 years ago, on January 20th, 2020, we were rewarded with 2 weeks off of school. Well, 2 turned to 3, 3 turned to 4, 4 turned into a month, and a month turned to fear. Fear for the future. So what changed? I'll tell you, nothing. Nothing changed. Absolutely nothing. So I'm going to tell you what hasn't changed. What hasn't changed is that people are glued to their screens. What hasn't changed is that people isolate themselves from society. What hasn't changed is that innocent people like George Floyd end up in a box. And for what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I could go on and on listing every single issue on planet Earth and never finish. Because life does not come with instructions to problem solving. Thank you.
The plastic crinkles from the bouquet in my hands. The blooming flowers, cut neatly and fresh, the most beautiful flowers for a beautiful girl. Roses, with their luscious shade of red and blossoming petals of vibrant hues. But what about the way they look defines their beauty? We choose to ignore the thorns upon their stems for the face they show to the world. So who is to say that the rose is more beautiful than the pansy, or the vibrant colors of the orchid, or the sweet delicacy of the daisy? They don't have thorns upon their stems, but it's what we've always known. Roses are the most beautiful. Everyone knows that. But when the rose finally dies, when its petals wilt and decay, only then does its beauty die too. I thought that death was considered beautiful, a farewell to the life once lived, a symbol of peace and eternal life. But only when it comes to things we cherish, right? We only cherish the lives of those who go unnamed once they're gone. Like the girl that sat in the back of the class alone, no friends to laugh with, no place to call home. She would dread entering the doors of her classes each day. Each step felt like pulling shackles around her feet. She would rather suffer with the teases and loneliness and stay home because she lived in a house of people who might as well be strangers, only spoke when they argued. She felt like she had nothing. All she saw of herself were her thorns. So she crumbled up and let herself die. And nobody noticed her struggle and pain until it was too late. The notes placed around her locker read, "You were always the most beautiful girl. You had such a contagious laugh. We all love and miss you, but it's too late." I want to say sorry to her. I'm sorry. Nobody could see your pain. I'm sorry nobody cared. I'm sorry nobody saw your beauty, and I am so sorry that you will never see the world again. So I'll bury you in a coffin of flowers to represent what they did to you. And as I place the bouquet on top of her coffin, the red roses, vibrant and luscious, unaware that her favorite flowers have always been carnations. I think of the life she could have lived if the world didn't decide to throw her away once she wilted, because they didn't realize that you decayed long before you died.
Hi, my name is Delaney Murphy, and I'm a senior at Duchesne Academy.
Here comes the sun!
And this is my poem, Cinnamon and Ivory. When I dream, I see seeds of cinnamon and ivory, the rings of ginger on the front porch. I used to think they were from the dog. Now I know they are rings of rust. The horses are faster than the breeze that catches my dress and clings to curls as I reach out my small hand that used to fit in yours. Before I drift away, the rainbow light touches my cheek as I listen to the horse's song. Gravel and barbed wire, the twisted brows of furrowed trees, their visages welcome me, and still I see the bottle tree. Honeysuckle and pickle pods, the rowdy rings of ginger still scattered across that porch. The two steeds of cinnamon and ivory watch as I dance to the sway of the wind chime. The bottle tree protects me from the whistles in the wind, colorful glass to keep my wishes safe. Sweet, sticky nectar on my fingertips as hummingbirds bob and weave around power lines. The brick doesn't burn my feet as I dance to the sound of something new. I hear it in the breeze that carries summer away on the wings of my little emerald friend and out to the beach where you'll hold me like sand in your hands, but I will slip between your fingers and fall to the beach where the tide will carry me out and the moon will illuminate my soul. So you can still see me as I drift away from you. If I had a sand dollar for every time I thought of you, I'd be rich in rarity. For so often, sand dollars are fragmented, but even more frequently do I think about your soul and how it has reached out to mine. Can you hear my whistle beneath the waves? Is that why you come back? The little girl in the sundress misses your face. I miss you too. Sunsets must taste sweet. What I'd give for the salty skies you soar through, like an unbridled seahorse towards the papaya sun. I'll chase your tail and the family you follow, because I long to be together again.